I know it's been a while since y'all seen me, but I got something new for you. You didn't think I was about to do this for my car, did you? It's a new day. It's a new time. It's a new experience, strength, and hope. Watch and see.
Da 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 da. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Tony, remember Geno's way back when our first date knew it never end. Felt like high school falling in too deep. Secrets that our young hearts would keep. You always made me laugh no matter what. You sarcastic wit, always cutting through the smile. Oh baby, since high school days, you're the one. We built a life and had so much fun. $4, $7 grand, baby's bright. God put us together, shining ever so light. Broken faucet or a shelf that's loose. Handy with your tools, you're always my muse. Always fixing things with a knowing grin. My world feels safer when you're working within. You always make me laugh no matter what. Your sarcastic wit always cutting through the smut. Oh baby, since high school days, you're the one. We built a life and had so much fun. $4, $7 grand, baby's bright. God put us together, shining ever so light. Through every challenge, every single test, you stood right by me, putting me first, truly blessed. God's plan unfolded, clear for us to see. A perfect partner, you were meant for me. Oh baby, since high school days, you're the one. We built a life and we had so much fun. $4, $7 grand, baby's bright. God put us together, God put us shining ever so light. Yeah, God put us together. It's true, me and you forever, through and through.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Experience, Strength, and Hope podcast. My name is Catherine, and our host Tony will be joining us shortly. Our goal is to bring stories that make you laugh, smile, and even cry, but most of all, give you hope. Please don't forget to support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and following us on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. Again, I'm Catherine, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
I'm Tony the Mayor. Experience, Strength, and Hope podcast. Tony the Mayor, Experience, Strength, and Hope podcast. And I know it's been a while since I published the podcast or really put one online. I've done quite a few, but I just didn't get around to edit them and publish them. I really was trying to really find the right move when I get a whim and I get something just want to tell me, go record this, go to record this. I get downstairs, get down here, I start getting stuff up and getting stuff set up and the lights up and everything like that. And then by that time, it's gone. That's why I feel like sometimes it's better for me to just get in my car and start recording. Grab my iPhone and start recording. And it's in me then, just for it to say. But I just wanted to just thank all of you guys who see me, in the community, online, or call me and say, hey man, what happened to your podcast? You still doing your podcast? I really appreciate that. What I appreciate even more, if you guys just leave a message there on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, when you see the Facebook, even TikTok, when you see a podcast or see clips from a podcast, just say, hey, enjoy the podcast. Hey, I like the podcast. All these things help me and help the podcast get pushed out. It helps the podcast. It helps the podcast get pushed out like crazy. So hit a like, follow, subscribe. It doesn't cost nothing to subscribe. Follow, subscribe. But most of all, leave a comment. You got to like it. You got to leave a comment there. Let me know you were there. Don't wait till you see me in the grocery store and Kroger's and Walmart and say, hey, when you going to do another podcast? Hey, I like that podcast. Leave it online. You want everybody to know that you're watching Experience, Strength, and Hope podcast. Thank you. Have a blessed day. One of my first podcasts that I recorded was my 15 minutes of fame with the Chicago Police Department. And that podcast is about an incident that my wife and I had that we experienced in Chicago. A lot of you guys have seen it before, I hope, or listened to it before. If you haven't, it's one of the first podcasts I ever did. You can look at it on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube especially. So what it was centered around is that we were going to pick up her niece's kids in Chicago and end up getting pulled over by the police, who we didn't know were the police at that time because they were on foot walking around, looked like everybody else in that area, you know. And this was in the projects of where Robert Taylor Homes was, Robert Taylor Homes. And we were 40-something in Federal then. And I don't want to go into too much detail because I would like for you to go back and watch it and like it. But it just evolved into a story where we could have been killed by the police if I would have made one wrong move. And we didn't have any, during that time, there was nobody recording with cell phones or anything. I mean, we might have had cell phones, but that was just mostly for taking pictures. So we're talking quite a bit ago, and we were choked. We had weapons pointed to our neck. I mean, my wife had a weapon pointed to her. I had one in my neck. I was getting choked and hollered at by somebody dressed like really in street attire. But that's neither here nor there. That was one of my first podcasts. Which brings me to today. You know, I'm still recording. A lot of you guys have asked me about, are you still doing podcasts? You still doing your podcast? Yes, I am. I'm still doing my podcast. You know, I've completed a lot. I just need to get them out there and publish them to you because they were on different subjects that, you know, at that time I was really just feeling it. I was just feeling it at that time, you know. So I said, let me get down here and record this. Let me go put this on tape and stuff. And then when I went back to listen to it, I say, oh, is that what I really wanted to say? You ever had that? You know, you had that happen, you know, before. And all the way up through, I remember during Black History Month, I wanted to record something, and then came close to, you know, different things. Valentine's Day, you know, Juneteenth. Juneteenth was a big one for me this year. You know, I was part of the Juneteenth program and got to spend some time with Carvin Winings of the Winings, you know, Carvin and Marvin, our twin brothers, you know. So, and you could tell they're twins, not by the looks, but how they act. So I wanted to record something then, which I did record a podcast for them, and I'll be putting that up. But all the way through Juneteenth and some of the other holidays, you know, because especially with the holidays coordinating together, Juneteenth, and this year was the 250th birthday of the United States of America, and where the Constitution was written of all men were created equal, right? All men. And during that time, a lot of us men were not free. So I was going to put that together with Juneteenth. And that can become a deep subject. You know, it makes it hard for some people to really want to celebrate. What am I celebrating? Because I wasn't considered a man then. That's why you see back in the 60s when Martin Luther King and the rest of the civil rights leaders were marching and they sign says, I am a man. I'm a man too. So I'm free. I'm equal. Why I'm not getting treated as equal? So that's something that I want to do. I can go in there. We can go on a long debate on that. And it's really not a debate because I'm not a scholar and I'm just going to give you what I experienced And what I know, what I've seen, the little bit that I know, whether it's been high school education or my college education or street education, or just from church anywhere, I feel like it's my opinion. I can say it when it's on my podcast, and sometimes it may not be 100% right, and you can always correct me. And one of the other days we had BIPOC, Black Indigenous People of Color Month, and when we recognize BIPOC mental health, Black Indigenous People of Color Month, when we recognize mental health within the Black community or people of color. And that's a good one, if you look online, you listen to live programs, you listen to debates, you listen to panels and things, people are always saying, you got to work on your mental. Mental health is real. Everybody want to talk about mental health, but no one wants to do anything about it. And mental health is not always just the people who you may see and you think that they're acting out. Oh, they mental is off, which I don't like that term, they mental, and so we go into those, we say these things, not really knowing, experiencing it ourselves. I've worked in the mental health field for over 20 years. And I retired last year. And retirement was a change for me. When you're out working in the community, you're out, attending functions, listen to different seminars or workshops, and these things have been being fed into you over and over about mental health. And then you sit in front of your clients and you hearing what they've experienced or what they're going to, and you put those two together to try to help that person. That's what it's all about. Our mental health is not just throwing medication at people and locking them up, and they're going to keep you maybe 3 to 5 days nowadays, but they're not going to keep you long, So you got to really be aware of the process which takes place. We want to treat our diabetes, treat that twisted ankle, help that curvature spine, and those different things that's happening with us in our bodies, whether it's your kidneys, your gallbladder, your liver, all those organs. And we forget about that one major organ, which is your mind. Take care of it. Exercise it. Exercise it by being aware of what takes place in different circumstances and different surroundings when you experience different things in life, whether it be death or whether it be the birth of a new one. Find out through history, or not through history, through experience of other people. And because that's the best teaching right there, with someone else's experience and they're able to, give it to you to help you, So, read up on these things and study those things and talk to people, and you never know who's going through what. You never know what someone has experienced. They can look perfectly fine. Everything could seem like it's hunky-dory, peachy cream, and they're falling apart on the inside. And all you need to do is ask them that one thing: hey, is everything okay? So that was mental health, So it's going to be a few different topics that I would like to talk about. I'm just glad to be able to put a podcast before you come back in front of you and tell you that, yes, I'm like the Williams brother. I'm still here. And so I'm going to give it to you the way I have received it, whether it be from God or whether it be from other people, that where it's your experience, strength, and hope. What have you experienced? What is your strength and what is your, when we take that past and that present and we bring them together to triumph and to spring forward into the future. That's what Experience, Strength, and Hope podcast is all about. I want you to hit me up on Facebook, TikTok, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube, and let me know that, hey, I would love to tell my story. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a story of triumph, of failure, but also of triumph, A lot of us have failed at certain things that we wanted to do, but we came back and we started all over again, or started in the middle where you need to reform some things and you push yourself forward, and now you're triumphant. Please hit me up. 785-307-4662. That's my podcast line, my business line. Or you can hit me up at bigdog0862@me.com or at gmail.com. Bigdog0862. I'm Tony the Mayor. You have a blessed day. Keep it solid. Keep it strong, but most of all,
thank you for listening to another episode of Experience, Strength, and Hope. Come back and continue to listen on any of our other platforms such as YouTube, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and Apple Podcasts. We encourage you to not only listen, but also reach out and share your stories of experience, strength, and hope at bigdog0862@gmail.com or 785-307-4662. I'm Anthony Timms, and this has been another podcast of Experience, Strength, and Hope from Tony the Mayor Timms. Be blessed, be strong, and most of all, be real.